1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. School cut-off marks for 2023 Grade 5 scholarship exam released. Urumia National Operations Secretariat launched by President's Secretary. The University Grants Commission is ready to provide solutions to the issues faced by university students. Beliatta mass shooting, 2 including main gunman's wife arrested. Yukti operation, 703 more suspects arrested within 24 hours. In world news, gas blast in Kenyan capital kills 2 and injures hundreds. The school cut-off marks for the admission of students to grade 6 of the schools based on the results of the 2023 grade 5 scholarship examination have been released by the Ministry of Education. Accordingly, the ministry said the students can check the schools that they have been selected to using the following link starting on the 5th of this month on g6application.moe.gov.lk. Secretary to the President, Mr. Saman Ekennaika, officially inaugurated the Urumia National Operations Secretariat yesterday at the President's office in the old Standard Chartered building. President Ranil Wickremesinghe's vision of empowering farmers through land ownership takes shape as the government announces plans to grant freehold titles to 2 million families. This initiative aims to address long-standing concerns regarding land rights in rural Sri Lanka. The government's plan to distribute 2 million freehold land titles to farming families has sparked discussions about its potential impact on rural communities and land ownership in Sri Lanka. This initiative, aligned with President Ranil Wickremesinghe's vision, seeks to address concerns about land security for farmers. Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga says that the Commission is ready to provide solutions to the issues faced by university students, but they should not engage in protest campaigns that affect the general public. He made these remarks while participating in the Subharati program of the SLBC this morning. The university has been entrusted with the responsibility to socialize with the children who enroll into universities this year. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. In adherence to a court order issued yesterday, former Health Minister Kehelia Rambukwello has reported to the premises of the Criminal Investigation Department this morning. The Police Special Task Force has arrested the wife of a retired naval person and his father on suspicion of being complicit in the Beliatta mass shooting that claimed the lives of 5 people. The retired naval person in question was reportedly the leading gunman in this mass murder. Accordingly, a total of 11 suspects have thus far been arrested over the shooting which took place on the 23rd of January near the Beliatta interchange of the Southern Expressway. Another 703 suspects have been arrested by the Sri Lanka Police and the Security Forces personnel within 24 hours, which ended at 12:30 a.m. today. The arrests were made as part of the ongoing countrywide anti-drug Operation Yuktiya. Among the arrestees are 525 suspects who were taken into custody on narcotics-related charges and 178 others who were on the list of wanted criminal suspects. Detention orders have been secured against one of the drug suspects, while another 6 were referred to rehabilitation centres, the Ministry of Public Security said. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
3 new wetland zones have been declared. Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi says that this will be declared under the Ramsar Convention of the Wildlife Department. Accordingly, the Manna Viritativu National Forest cover, the Adams Bridge, National Security and Jaffna Chundikalam National Sanctuary will be declared as wetlands. In addition, the Badula Narangala mountain range has also been declared as a sanctuary recently. It includes 230 hectares of land. So far, 6 wetlands have already been declared under the Ramsar Convention. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. People in the upcountry estates are living in constant fear of any possible danger to their lives from leopards frequenting the estates. They pointed out that leopards hiding under the tea bushes pose a serious danger to the estate workers. They pointed out that in the latest incident, a tea plucker had been attacked by a leopard feeding on the carcass of a dog under a tea bush. A similar incident was reported in Bridwell Estate in Bogavatalawa recently. Trade union representatives said the wildlife authorities should have worked out an effective mechanism to protect the people from the threat of hill country leopards and also to protect them from being slain by the villagers by laying traps.
Coming up, world news.
First, the headlines. Gas blast in Kenyan capital kills 2 and injures hundreds. US approves plan to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq, officials say. Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan's king of comebacks, looks set to be PM again. A huge gas blast in the Kenyan capital Nairobi has killed at least 2 people and injured at least 222. A lorry carrying gas exploded in the Embakasi district around today, igniting a huge ball of fire, a government spokesperson said. Housing, businesses and cars were damaged, with videos showing a huge blaze raging to blocks of flats. Earlier, the government had said the blast happened at a gas plant. The cause is still being established. Mr. Mwara said the fireball from the blast had spread widely and a flying gas cylinder had hit a garments and textiles warehouse, burning it down. The US has approved plans for a series of strikes on Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq, officials have told the BBC, US partner CBS News. The strikes will take place over a number of days, officials say, and where the conditions will likely dictate when they are launched. It comes after a drone attack killed 3 US soldiers in Jordan, close to the Syrian border on Sunday. The US blamed an Iranian-backed militia group of that attack. That group, the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, is believed to contain multiple militias that have been armed, funded and trained by Iran's Revolutionary Guards Force. It said it was responsible for Sunday's strike. Pakistan's former 3-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif only returned from exile last year, but is now the clear front-runner to win the 8th February election. Few could have predicted his return to the top, despite his dominance in Pakistani politics these past 3 decades. His last term ended in him being convicted of corruption, and this time before he was toppled in a military coup. Still, he appears on the brink of making another successful comeback, a dramatic turnaround for someone who has long been viewed as an opponent of Pakistan's powerful military. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Gas blast in Kenyan capital kills 2 and injures hundreds. US approves plan to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq, officials say. Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan's king of comebacks, looks set to be PM again. That ends this bulletin of world news. We now take a look at development news. Plans are afoot to execute the destruction of drugs seized by the security forces by the end of March. The commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira, has emphasized. The Navy chief further said that a building with all facilities required for drug destruction is under construction at the Varathavillo area at present, and that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka skipper Dhananjaya De Silva won the toss and opted to bowl against Afghanistan in the first ever test match between the two nations played at the SSC grounds in Colombo. The match kicked off at 10 a.m. today with both sides hoping to give a solid performance. This is the first time that Dhananjaya has been appointed as the captain of Sri Lanka. Batting first, the Afghanistan team scored 81 runs for 2 wickets, and that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The National Savings Bank has introduced a 2-year deposit scheme named Abhiman Samarum in line with the 76th Independence Day celebrations. The interest rate is 11%, and that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
The central bank says that 48.6% is valued as the index of December last year. It is the Purchasing Managers Index of the construction sector. The inflation rate was 6.4% last month, and that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Nuva provinces and in the Polonnaruwa district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the central and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts after 4 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the morning hours. To end this bulletin of news, the headlines again. School cut-off marks for 2023 Grade 5 scholarship exam released. Urumia National Operations Secretariat launched by President's Secretary. The University Grants Commission is ready to provide solutions to the issues faced by university students. Beliatta mass shooting, 2 including main gunman's wife arrested. Yukti operation, 703 more suspects arrested within 24 hours. Gas blast in Kenyan capital, this is in world news, kills 2 and injures hundreds. And that ends this afternoon's news broadcast. This is Radio Sri Lanka, and your captain, as always, on a Friday is Geetanjali Ramanayake. And of course, Geetanjali, as I always say, I have to comment on your beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Goes without saying, so every one of you tuned in. If you see a lady, if you don't know her, that is, and if you see her, a lady with the most beautiful smile, well, that is Geetanjali Ramanayake. So, of course, it's time for me to leave the studio, and, of course, so you'll be in wonderful company, lunchtime music. So as you sit down to have your lunch, enjoy the music in the background, and of course the request program will be on, and Geetanjali will be with you until 4 o'clock. Am I right, Geetanjali?
That's right,
this
Indrani.
afternoon. So all the very best to every one of you tuned in. I hope all of you have a lovely, lovely weekend, and that includes you, Geetanjali.
Thanks, Indrani. Wishing you all the very best for the weekend and have a safe journey back home. You're with the station of the nation, Radio Sri Lanka, and it's time for lunchtime music.